Okay, so what happens if a student doesn't qualify for a full resource? Students with disabilities who don't meet the IDEA's criteria are often eligible for special education services under Section 504, and you might have heard of that just being in the service learning at this point. It was a Rehabilitation Act of 1973. This act stipulates that institutions that benefit from federal funding can't discriminate against individuals on the basis of a disability. So, one approach to identification involves determining a response to intervention, the RTI. In this approach, a teacher keeps an eye out for a student who has exceptional difficulty with basic skills in a certain domain despite normal whole class instruction, intense follow-up, small group instructions that have been shown by research to be effective for most children. So, if you've done those intervention pieces and the student still has not moved, more than likely there is an issue. If the assessment rules out obvious disabling conditions, the student is assumed to have a cognitive impairment, often but not always, falling within the category of learning disability and is therefore eligible for special services. Now, whenever we identify a student as having a particular disability, we run the risk of focusing other people's attention on weaknesses rather than on the student's many strengths and age-typical characteristics. I can tell you in my time in the public school system, this last set, I had two students who were classified as resource kids, special needs kids. Getting resource benefits was on the honor roll in middle school. Two of them. So that tells me there's some misdiagnosing going on. Also, some kids know how to play the system. If they are considered special needs in a resource type situation, they know they get abbreviated assignments, they get additional help, and some kids are smart enough to play the system, believe it or not. Now, one thing about identifying a student as having a disability, research, everything that I've read said wait till the end of the second grade before you even start the testing process, because some kids will come in kindergarten and it will appear that they are not working on grade level, but that could be only because they've not been exposed to the material. Then with a little bit of exposure in school, they can come out of the slump and actually learn better, if not equal, to their classmates. So research says do not label a child as special ed until after December the second grade year. If a student has not gotten it by that time, there is some kind of a learning disability going on somewhere. Something is impaired within their system as far as the learning process goes. So let's don't label them too early. I think some teachers, it's easy to do that. Then they get removed from the classroom, or there's an assistant comes in to help with them, when it possibly could just be maybe not enough exposure outside, not enough experiences, which has kept them from laying that basic knowledge type stuff. It could be behavior issues. There could be many things. So let's make sure before we label them, we're labeling them because there truly is a disability. Once labeled, as I've heard some people say, always labeled. So let's make sure we label them correctly.